La 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 la. Dun 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 dun. Before I open that camera, let me find my pictures. Where they at? Give honor to Source, Most High, for making all this possible. Ancestors known and unknown, the highest good of all. Yeah. I'll be before y'all long. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? How y'all doing? Man, let me tell you. Starting off with this, it ain't gonna be long because I got a new exclusive book that I want to read from. But man, I may have said this in a previous video, but the reason I say this right now is because it's so vital to the honesty we have to be for ourselves. Like how honest we have to be for ourselves. Like vulnerability is one thing with other people, but being honest with ourselves first is the start of vulnerability. Hold on. Ooh. Let that shit out. I sound and feeling much better. Again, it's just purging, getting shit out, clearing my body. Like I said, I don't eat meat no more, so a lot of things changing my body, my awareness, mental, spiritual, a lot of cleansing is happening. Again, when I talk about honesty, I immediately relate it to the matriarchal. When I have seen how much of identity we have created around, you know, what has enabled this wounded masculinity of the old world narrative, and that wounded masculinity being asserted through men and women. The bigger picture now is like we're forced to be honest with ourselves, which is an amazing thing. Like I was walking before I even got, you know, to the library to create this video, and I was like, bro, I gotta be honest with myself. Having these healthy talks with myself, or just honest talks, and be like, bro, I walk past a home and look at the for sale sign. Listen, it's not that things aren't possible. It's just the realistic, like looking at shit realistically, and and realizing like, is this for me? Or not even just that, I know I'm capable of doing it, but when I look at the fact of how would I be able to do that? And that's where the honesty has to begin with a lot of us. Again, if we didn't come from authentic and, you know, integrative like beginnings or childhood development, we will struggle with that, you know, and sometimes we don't realize. I know I did, like battling with walking in my truth. Walking in your truth will make you feel uncomfortable for shattering the illusions of what you've lived in for so long, and even the mask you have to have carried from the family dynamic to career settings and so forth. And this is why, like, this book right here we'll read from, if you want to go ahead and order that, I'll most likely put the link in the bio. I love this cover. It came out amazing. It said, "Please do not disturb." And you know, it's just alchemizing all of that to where now I can use it to transmute it into a book, or, you know, or anything else. And with that, that's the beauty of self-mastery or learning. Like, again, we haven't come from foundations overall. I'm not saying everyone weren't honest in their homes and so forth, but I'm talking about in the society, the systems and so forth. I was like, bro, at this point, it wasn't even the fact of, it used to be how things were used to be against each other, to conquer and divide. It's like now the self-realization is like, where are the people that have compassion when they are honest with themselves? Are we not seeking the same thing? Like, not even just looking for the people, but where are those very people who are now coming to that self-realization about being so honest and authentic with themselves that they're forced to rebuild and reconstruct their whole life? Wherever they are, whatever their age, belief systems, that's what honesty will do. That's what truth will do at a higher frequency. Authenticity, that is, we live in a world now, when I say frequency, it's the honesty of living in your truth, your individualism, and how that connects and is relatable which hasn't been relatable to the whole world narrative. Now let me give y'all some exclusive shit right here. Which one I want to read? Man, I'm just going in. Again, this is Please Do Not Disturb by me. You know, what I love about this is it's art and written by me, which is so amazing. It never dawned on me that the family I came from never fucking loved me, never celebrated me. Imagine them knowing to have a responsibility to change the lineage. Imagine them knowing to have the responsibility to change the lineage, knowing that they could be a part of something miraculous, yet still choosing to stay stagnant, envy, and breadcrumb you. Almost like throwing a life jacket. As soon as you grab for it, they pull that bitch out of the water in the blink of an eye. Imagine growing up in a country, home, and environment where nothing upheld you in a special way. It's alright though, because I'm the author and main character of this story. Yeah, whew, I really like that one. Today I finally breathed a breath that was everlasting. In this moment I decided to disappoint the world, myself for having unrealistic beliefs, the external world and all of their expectations of me. Unapologetically, I do not fit your narrative of a darker man, a boy, a human being. I finally slowed down enough to smell the shit I've been stepping in for 35 years. I slowed down enough so I can recognize the unfulfilled goals, dreams, and truths about myself hiding beneath my childhood covers. The unfulfilled visions of my ancestors who self-sabotaged their purpose for self-righteous reasons. I slowed down enough to pace myself with a snail. I finally slowed down to breathe. I finally slowed down to rest my sore-ass feet from carrying baggage of ancestral trauma, unresolved events taking place in my childhood. I finally slowed down to unlock the vault to pain, repressed memories, scattered through generations of neglected emotions. Today I finally breathe a breath of relief from my ancestors and me. Today I finally breathe a breath ending with E. Breathe with me. I gotta blow my nose again. When the last time you took a breath? Was it due to the overextending yourself for everyone else? You took a breath, but did you breathe? So many are on their last breath right here and right now. We're right here right now. The walking dead, never breathing correctly. Built up trauma, rushing for no reason, no awareness of their breathing. Man, I realized how much resistance came with living in one's truth rather than a lie. Because I'd rather lie down and cry than to stand and live a lie of inauthenticity. Force feed a society not to prioritize my well-being. Hustle and die culture. Fuck your nervous system that's already has no room to ignore any more signs of being neglected. Let's keep you dysregulated, dysfunctional, discombobulated, discomfort, disempowered. That's referencing like the hustle and die culture. Listen, there are millions, if not billions, of human beings never have had an opportunity to sit and process trauma, past life events, experiences. Every day told to get up and go. Get and go. Never starting their day slow and intentional. I finally slowed down. I mean, it pissed my daughter off because daddy is recovering his childhood again. Through undesirable experiences she never had an invite to attend. Yet I still must say confidently, baby, daddy has to rest. As much as I want to play, my childhood trauma needs my attention today. things she may presently be upset and emotional about, frown and even pout. It's okay to be angry simply because I must take care of myself. Instill in her that no amount of material is more valuable than one's spiritual health and well-being. These emotions you have shall come and go. Daddy wished he had someone teach him the importance of internal growth. Listen, baby girl, there are things unresolved that didn't involve you prior to your incarnation. My mama and father didn't prioritize their well-being, so I'm left with this mess to clean up. And I refuse to misuse the tools of self-awareness now, discipline and discernment, to leave you and your brother with something you didn't create. Even though you may not understand someday, you'll understand the patience it takes to rise every day with intention to value the very things no one can take away. Your dignity, integrity, most importantly, your peace. I got so many typos in here, but it's okay. And being who you came here to be. So this is why I choose today to slow down. Because Daddy is finally holding the space for the version of him his mama and father never cared to embrace in the most uncomfortable way. And I know a lot of you probably needed to hear that. And I'm reading this from like having conversations with my daughter, but in a way of putting it into words. But I'm saying this also to you who didn't have a father who could utter these words or say this to you. Sometimes this is how men feel, but they never were shown or taught how to alchemize or transmute those emotions. This is what they really want to say, and this especially highlights previous generations where fathers were there. They offered you material security, but a lot of them never had the opportunity to sit with their emotions. A lot of them were emotionally unavailable, and so with that, they wish they could say these very things, but some of them would say, well, I gotta make ends meet, I gotta go out here so you can eat and have food on the table. That was a big thing. You gotta have food on the table, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. And again, it's a great thing for people who have done. That's a great sacrifice. But in that sacrifice, they also their well-being, their emotional well-being, their mental and so forth. And I feel like, just from my perspective, a lot of integrity was not in that. A lot of honesty about saying this is how I truly feel, and the consequences from that could probably happen. Like I said, everyone's life doesn't have to seem like it has to be a struggle. But my self-realization is coming to this awareness now about how important it is that, well, maybe let me use what I've experienced to build a bigger to build something bigger outside of just it focusing on just the material substance or the material security. Now I'm grateful that what a lot of this from what I've created will bring in that more the material stability and so forth. I'm not ever like discarding that. It's more of I'm grateful for the awareness that I have. So continuing on, I have to learn to slow down so Daddy doesn't continue to frown for not making time for himself to be able to show up for you and everyone else. Many will object, even attack me because I choose to change the narrative of what a man is supposed to be. I finally slowed down to remember there's a little boy inside crying out for me. I finally slowed down so I don't have to continue a cycle of self-abuse and neglect. No longer abandoning myself for a check to live in a world of abundant resources. I finally slowed down to listen to my body signaling to rest. Don't rush the process. Trust the timing of my life instead of others' projections and fears because they've lived in survival most of their childhood and adulthood years. I slowed down to face my fears of abandonment. I slowed down to breathe slowly and smoothly for those who came before me. I slowed down because I'm not forcing myself to an early death as most have done. I'm not running from responsibility. I'm simply accepting accountability for my breath, wealth and well-being, because no one's gonna care more about me than me. It's funny. I'm gonna show you how authentic my fucking nose is coming down, but it's just the beauty of reading this. Sound like a little kid with nasal. But anywho, to know that generations of my mom and grandmother, etc., never rested intentionally really troubles me, even angers the fuck out of me, that you didn't want to rest for you, so you made it a priority that I couldn't rest for me. I meant to say for. Oh my God, I gotta go. It's okay. Man, those house wasn't a home, and they were houses filled with animosity. And if I could press charges for every one of my childhood abusers, all would be guilty of disturbing the peace. My fucking peace given to me because I decided to be here on earth. My fucking peace the Most High bestowed upon me. And as I read this, the reason I say that's so vital is because, metaphorically speaking, or is that a simile? I don't even know what you want to call it. Like, when I say I charge people for disturbing the peace, that's a very thing that my focus has been on. And also it's in reminding my kids of, it's like, some of us, like, depending on your upbringing, due to so much of a dysregulated nervous system, we have to realize we come from people who do not prioritize peace, so they disturb the peace, you know, within the disturbance within themselves, that they could not find peace. A lot of people don't realize, like right now, the reason I've had to cut them off completely, or, you know, remove them from my life, is because I prioritize that. And that's something that, you know, moving forward in my home environments and settings and wherever I go is a priority. And that's the thing about the world setting, when you realize, like, you're dealing with people overall, and the collective aspect of things is like, it's so chaotic because people are mentally disturbed, they are emotionally disturbed, they are spiritually at war with themselves. Everyone is going through something, and everyone's through whatever they're trying to navigate, simply trying to find some type of peace or harmony. As I continue, I was hijacked, robbed of something so simple, yet every human being desperately seeks. How did I deserve a simple, peaceful night of rest? If I could visualize a disease so horribly, fight or flight would be floating through my bloodstream until the age of 35. Now I seek every cure because my tear ducts have cried every cry. My heart hangs on the door, do not disturb. Sign, only those with spiritual eyes can see inside. Padlocks and guards at the door of my brain, protecting my mental stability. Spiritual snipers and assassins waiting patiently for anyone attempting to harm any part of my body just to protect my legacy. There's $1 trillion bounty on anyone's head just to protect my peace. Fuck around and find out. And I'm gonna finish that off. I'm telling you, bro, you're not gonna get anything anywhere else. Go get your copy today. Share it, read it. You know, take care of yourself. That's all I wanted to share today. I got a few things to handle. I gotta go blow my nose because I ran out of tissue. Actually, I didn't. I think I got some wipes in here. I know I got some wipes in here. So, but for real, like, we all, my bigger picture is that we all is trying to, whichever way that may be, everyone in some type of way. Is trying to find some type of inner peace, man, in some type of way. I feel like, and then imagine like the generations after us too that like are trying to. I feel like they're not even going to be more concerned about money, because if you look at the aspect of, again, this is my perspective. It's not. It's just how the monetary aspect of the financial abuse and certain resources have been used for the detriment of certain people, certain classes, and all these things, and how it's been used to abuse, to keep people in a stagnation, to keep people believing that there's not an abundance for all. That's my only how could I say, objection, or just like when it comes to like elders saying like, work hard, go out there, and if I can do it, you can do it. And there's again, it's just the fact that I don't have to agree with that. I don't have to subscribe to that. My belief system, even around it, I've had to realize like what's comfortable for me, what's a comfortable living situation, or what's a comfortable number, And even with that, it's not the same for everybody. I mean, realistically, when you're looking at how certain people, such as myself, like millennials, are even trying to grasp the concept around like, how the fuck can you afford certain things? What are we setting up for the kids after us? Shit, I was like, they can barely afford a piece of candy. As soon as they go out there and work and get a check or do something, it's like it's already gone to some people. It's like certain things are, realistic. Like you're talking about some of the highest paid positions or whatever, trying to go to school or trying to do certain things, just to end up in more of like what, this illusion of debt. Like this system, it's realistically, who does it really benefit or like support? And we all kind of know like the bigger picture to that, and those who are aware. So I'm sitting here like, as a man who has to be honest with himself, I'm like, bro, there's something miraculous that gotta come from this, from my speaking, from my writings, from my travelings, or certain things. Like, I have to sit back and be like, bro, what else can I do right now? And that's the thing about what life will reveal to you. And it's not like I'm going to beat myself up over it. Again, when I'm looking at the whole systematic thing, I'm like, bro, if this doesn't, for the most part, inspire people in the age of Aquarius to see the importance of like how we come from a system that has been so like the gluttony and greed and the self-righteousness, how that literally is enabling or initiating what has always been before that, which is a shared resource aspect of life, or what you give, you share return. I mean, what you give shares return, the universal law of things. And what we're seeing is what has been sown by a system, what and who has been the characters enabling that, and how, again, they haven't seen the bigger picture of the oneness and the support in that. So how are we like surprised? I'm not even surprised at a lot of things. I'm grateful. I stay in an attitude of gratitude that I'm able to rest, or I'm able to get up and take care of myself and have health, well-being, and even share my messages. Because again, just like, I gotta really look at stuff to where that may work for that person, but this don't. Then with this, share my message to like the youth of like, really sitting with yourself and not rushing the process. Like that's gonna come with experience, or through life. And a lot of our elders before, they didn't have experience. Again, they're going based off what they've experienced per se, but they don't have a lot of going outside of traveling and doing a lot of things, or exposing themselves to a lot of things. A lot of them have only seen their neighborhoods or communities and built around that. And I'm not like devaluing that. I walk through it and I'm like, yeah, this was great. But when you're really building it for the generations after you, imagine people saying that they're millionaires and billionaires, and in my perspective, it's like, you built that for, what are you building that for? Is it just for the greed? Like, you got to be a cold lover, bro, or just selfish person. And it's a balance between showing up for self and then balancing that with other people. But I'm like, bro, like, to see the state of humanity is, for me, it's like, whoa. Please, like, I encourage people. I don't even like to say the word please, but man, I encourage y'all. Find what inside, like, find what brings you this, like, the simplest thing of, like, joy. And I can say, like, how you can connect to that is simply, like, from your childhood, and somehow, some way, create around that. I love talking since I was young. I was always seemed like a philosopher, or through my experience and certain things. And I realizing, like, yo, I gotta keep doing this till it's like making me financially abundant and prosperous. But it's more than just that. It's just, I just know that I will, because for one, I had to build my voice back up. I had to accept that was who I was young, when I heard people, oh, you talk too much, you do this and that. Nah, I don't talk none. Oh, you too quiet. I had got a message from source, like, you too quiet. You're too quiet. You need your voice. You are the voice for the people. All people. You especially are the voice for. And that's the thing where I realize, it's like seeing people who don't. And I told you, do is in front of don't. So when people, like, I'm recognizing a lot of things, master, like, as you progress in life, master, learn that stuff, like, keep learning you, like, I'm in a different stage where I now, like I said, rebuilding that self-confidence from being silenced young, and rebuilding yourself. That's a beautiful thing to be able to have the courage to do. What else? And it's a process. And even talking about this, I get even more excited to have, like, my first opportunity, not even first opportunity, but limitless opportunities to build around my gifts. Even more so. Going back, returning to the drawing board and be like, okay, what could I do differently this time? Or how could I make this more fun? What could I do this time to make this more fun? Instead of trying to be so fucking serious like everybody. I feel like that's the generation before. A lot of them, they just take life so serious, and, like, they don't know how to lighten up about certain things and be optimistic. Again, this is my perspective. These things I'm coming to learn here, as you know, in this human experience, if you want to call it that. And for the most part, like, again, staying optimistic in life, transmuted that negative into positive, feminine, masculine aspect. And like that, again, like the whole monetary system aspect of even how it's viewed from a lens of people who have been the sole proprietor of how these things are issued out. It's all crumbling for a reason, because it's the feminine principle around how a lot of things are supposedly or organically, primordially supposed to be distributed or flow. So a lot of people will argue that, but nah, it ain't even just fairness. It's fucking balance that's being restored when it comes to the fact of how so much the scale has tipped in the favor of others. It may seem, no matter culture, creed, spiritual community, class and all that, it's going to tip right back. Everything is going to balance out. That's why I'm so grateful. Like, these transits and everything that's unfolded, you're going to see who really culturally is for the people. Seeing nationalities, in the oneness of all, you're going to see it very clear. And it don't matter their soul's expression. People, no matter their color, creed, their soul's expression is going to let you know. And that's one thing I've been getting I've been getting these revelations about this, even with people in my family. I'm like, the things I talked about previously, it's nothing, it's personal for me, but it's like, but when you look at the word personal in the persona, it's like I'm recognizing this is who people characters are. Believe them, accept it, be able to transmute it. And that's the thing about, like, with the books and with everything I'm doing, it's highlighting the fact that I knew very young I was always for others. At the same moment, due to the fact of how I learned how to be for others was from a distorted way of seeing a mother overgive, overextend. And I didn't know I would develop this through the emotional resonance of that. So now I had to even learn the balance of that, of being a person. And that was through a lot of actions. Through, exhausting myself, through sharing resources, money, a lot of things. So I'm like, whoa, I have to step away. I have to be like, yo, let me check my fucking self. We're not, this is not instilled in us very young, the importance of self-sufficiency, self-reliance, and then, balancing that out with human interaction and, give and receive aspect. And that's one of the biggest things I had to learn, even getting to this. Ain't like, oh my God, yeah, it's you, bro. You gotta take full responsibility of this. So with that, it allows me now to realize like I can embrace and enjoy life as it comes. So now, but still, it's the importance of being able to balance that and not perfecting it, because that's one of the biggest illusions. I feel like, again, from another energy we're coming out of is the people who prioritize perfection right now is going to really suffer a lot through the fact of not knowing how to allow things to flow. And that's the North Node and South Node aspect, the eclipse energy. All these energies are exposing the fact of how, the climate and the energy around the perfect body, the perfect person, the perfect partner, the perfect showing up in this and that. Oh, they look like they have the perfect life. And in reality, that's a fucking illusion. Because everyone going through something and everyone's shifting through a different way of life. It's how long can you keep this mask on like everything is perfect? And I feel like that's where we come from, a generation of the material security of portraying to the world as everything is perfect, and now seeing it crumble. Everybody's like, some people are in disbelief or delusional, like, no, this is no. A lot of us been where eyes can see, spiritual eyes, and those that are aware, like, nah, I been knew this was happening in the family. I been knew this, all over. When you see it, I feel like when you see it, notice it, when it clicks, when you go through a spiritual awareness or whatever you want to call it, awakening, I don't care. When you start on the journey, you being able to see you, and it happens where I feel like when people go through like that journey of that, if they choose to, or is that not only do they see, sometimes it's, you will go through experience. I know I went through this where I wanted to course correct everybody, tell everybody everything, and I was like, dang, hold on, partner, what about you? What about you? What about you? What was your role in that? You was also a part of that. What about you? What about this? What about that? What about you? So for me, I'm like, oh. And that's the thing where we have, like, learning to be able to see our role and what enabling this and how to call back our energy and pull it back and return to sender, whatever it is that does not belong to us, or transmute it. Whoever tried to send or project something. I had someone recently, like, through a conversation I was having on here, and I was like saying I was done, I returned, I'm done with this, da 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 da. And lo and behold, that energy of that person just showed up in the message, and I was like, yeah, I ain't even in the space to like respond. It's nothing against them. It's just the fact of where I'm at, and it's wild because we're transitioning from the sun illuminating things in summer to where it's now going in more of the shorter nights, or like the dark aspect of like the moon being out more, the darker nights, or because of the times or the shift of the climate of like autumn. So this right here is even more like, whoa. Like, nah. Again, it can look different for everyone. Where there was, again, more visibility for me, less accessibility. And it's like, that's where the batteries got to come in. I'm like, oh, I see. This is something that's trying to peak and it's giving me clarity of like, okay, I'm done with this. But that's a whole other subject I'm gonna go into. Y'all take care of yourself. I gotta go. Peace and wisdom. Shalom.